Family is a valuable thing. The heartfelt feeling of being loved by your family is felt by most of us, but some of us don't realize or appreciate how fortunate we really are. There are millions of children all over the world who don't have a family to be loved by and no real home. Many of them even end up out on their own at a very young age, never getting to experience that feeling of family. But families all over the world are feeling the need to do something about this and change the outcome for some of these children. So they take these children in, giving them a better opportunity in life and doing what they knew they were called to do. Juniors Seth Simmons and Aaron Peary were in similar situations. Their families felt callings to adopt. After many thoughts and prayers, both families knew it was the right thing to do. So in 2008, both families welcomed their newest members, 17-month-old Anna Jen Eva Simmons in August and 14-year-old Jenya Elizabeth Peary in December.
She was born in Nanchang, China. We went there about in August. She's 17 months old, big brown eyes, short, really thin, black hair. She's the cutest girl I've ever seen in my life. She makes me happy when I get home from school, because I've never had a sister that little before. Her dad left her on the doorstep of the orphanage where she lived for about a year, and that's all we really know.
On December 23, 2008, Aaron Peary and her family adopted Jenya from the Ukraine.
Her dad died when she was 7, and then her mom abandoned her for 2 years, so she was living by herself from 7 to 9, and her mom was an alcoholic, so when her mom did come home, it wasn't a good situation for Jenya. If she were to stay in Ukraine, she wouldn't have a good future there, because they're kicked out of the orphanage once they're 16, and then they're kind of on their own. So from there, she wouldn't have anywhere to go.
The day a family brings home their new child is one of the greatest days imaginable, but it takes a very long time to get to that day. The adoption process is very long and grueling and can take years to complete.
Well, like 3 years ago, we started doing a bunch of paperwork. We had to get passports and renewed passports and shots, and had to get our home inspected, and we had to have like family meetings with these like home people just to make sure we would be a healthy place for her to be. We knew her name and her picture and the orphanage where she was about a month before we left, but before then, 3 years before that point, we didn't know anything.
The adoption process is, it's really hard just because there's so much paperwork that you have to go through, and over in Ukraine, like I said, it's really corrupt, the government there, so they're just really nitpicky about certain things. And then once you get to Ukraine, you get through all the paperwork, there's you have to go through the interviews, and you have to go through court. There's the court date, and then there's a 10-day waiting period.
The feeling someone has when their new child is brought into their family, or the feeling of finally being accepted into a family and having a home, can only be known by the people who have experienced it. Throughout all the processes, inspections, court dates, and all the new cultures that they saw, both the Simmons and the Pearys made it through and got the greatest gift someone could possibly imagine: a new part of the family, doing what they knew was right, and the warm feeling of knowing that they have deeply improved a child's life as well as their own. I'm Carly Hudson, NBC News.
Did you know we have a real magician walking the halls of MHS? Haley Wu has the story of a student who's a master on the art of illusion.